Today is November 10th, 2025. A very important topic. Something like going through open doors. Opened by God the Father, okay? Don't push yourself to go through doors that are closed. Closed by God the Father. Because you'll perish. This topic is very important. I don't know if it's not the most important. Recently, I recorded one such important topic, but really the most important topic for us to win is this topic. The most important topic is this topic. What do I mean? And I understand this topic from experience. I've drawn conclusions based on experience, based on attacks. And I think this is a fundamental topic. If we apply this topic in life, you will always succeed and always move forward well. Go through open doors. Don't push through closed doors. So we have different life situations and we are in different life situations. Life is about finding solutions. A Christian is a person of hope. So we stop, we ponder. Faith is actions, deeds, and now we have to make a decision on which direction to go. The direction is the most important. We must go in the direction where life opens doors for us, where the doors are open. Then there will be results. It will be better. If we insist on our own way, that we want this or that, okay, often we may want something. We can want something ourselves. That I would like this or that solution, that I would like. Okay, you can try, I would like, we consider what we want. You can try and we try. But if we see that we try, and the doors are closed. And instead of the situation improving, because it's important that the balance, like in accounting, like in bookkeeping. There must be results, the situation must improve. These must be actions where the situation improves. This is how we know that we have entered through the doors that life has opened for us, that God the Father has opened. Yes, it's from the Holy Scriptures. I am the one who closes, and when I close, no one opens, okay, no one. When I open, no one closes. And our duty is to find which doors we have open, and you recognize it by this, that you make a decision, and you recognize it by this, that results appear, better results. So some results appear and you are able to fight. Even small crumbs of energy you gain, the situation improves even a little. You are able to fight at least, you are able to have the strength to fight, okay? However, if you, for example, want, even in your spiritual heart you are looking for a solution, I will give you my example. You made an important, wise decision, you made a wise solution, a wise decision and you try to apply it in life, but still no results. Despite this, strong attacks from the devil come, that from day to day you are almost unable to function, you feel almost exhausted, okay? The devil attacks you like this when you want to implement an idea that you came up with, which may be a very wise idea, very in line with your heart and which you may truly desire in your hearts. Only that in life there are such rules that it doesn't matter what we would like, but we must adapt to which doors we already have open. So here too, remember this verse, that do not rely on your own understanding, but trust God with all your heart. It's Jesus, I trust in you, Jesus is God the Father, we must trust him, he really is wiser, he is wiser, okay? So even if we want and the solution is wise, and the attacks, when we try to implement it in life, but such heavy attacks come, you know, maybe from day to day, maybe the devil intimidates, okay? Try longer. If these attacks persist from week to week, then really, if from week to week these attacks are long, it means that the life of the heart and mind of God the Father suggests to us that these doors are closed. And that's why the devil can attack, because closed doors, if we insisted on going through closed doors, well, pride would bow, We would perish, because there would be no results, it would be worse, until we fell into depression. No results, then depression sets in, breakdown, okay. So that's basically what I wanted. I wanted us to. This is a very important topic, I will return to this topic. It's really on my mind because it's very important, but I will return to this topic. Here are 2 verses from the Bible. The first one, remember this verse to apply it. And here, see God our Father, okay? And He sits at the right hand and He guides us. It's not about what we want. We listen to ourselves, we look for solutions. But we must find the path where God the Father leads us. These 2 verses, when I close it, it's closed, when I open it, it's open. And the second verse, do not rely on your own understanding, but trust with all your heart. So really, not entirely on understanding. Sometimes in our hearts, we really want to. Maybe it's even the heart bowing to the flesh. But even our spiritual heart, we would like to, but it's not possible, my dears. Sometimes we want this or that solution, but if it's not possible, don't insist. Go through the doors that are open, that life presents open, okay, where there are results, where the situation improves. This is how you recognize which doors are open, which are closed. If for a long time you try a smart idea, a smart solution, in the short term, it may be intimidation by the devil, because the devil may want you to back off. But if something persists, attacks for weeks, if attacks persist for weeks, strong attacks, exhausting, when you're just fighting to survive, it means the doors are closed and you need to go another way that God the Father will show you, okay? I'll give you an example. For example, best with an example. I recently went through something like this and, for example, the wicked try to forcefully connect, forcefully talk, to forcefully convince themselves that I want a relationship. They've been doing it for years by force, okay, the whole elite of the devil, you hear, the whole elite of the devil, as they try to push their demons, forcefully trying to talk, to contact. It's been like this for years. After certain years, I introduced a system, for years I simply I didn't agree to it, but they still forced me to talk, they did it by force, the demon, the devil, and the elite of the devil, okay. The effects were heavy, because they kept forcing me to talk, I couldn't do anything, because we have no control over suffering, we have no control over the devil persecuting us, even if we wanted to help ourselves, that's the cross. After a few years, I finally came up with a solution to set, for example, a conversation with a saint and so I become the head, I set the time for the conversation and so on. So an example like that, right? So you set the conversation, when and how long. And similarly, for example, you can be persistent, an example, and for example, demons of pedophilia attack me, humiliate, murder, demean my femininity, they would try to kill my femininity, which they will never achieve. But I also adopted a strategy okay. So also the only doors, and I had open doors, there were results. There were a lot of results, year by year I achieved a lot, because I had good strategies. I achieved results because the doors were open. So such results that I set, for example, once a day a time for a short conversation with a saint and And the wicked couldn't force me to talk as often by force. It definitely limited them, okay? Just such a cross, I had to endure it somehow. And with demons of pedophilia, for example, the fight for intimacy with my husband, for systematic, small steps of such spiritual intimacy, it can even be a simple hug with your own husband. It helps to shake off these demons of pedophilia that attack me, okay? So with your own husband, with your own husbands, the fight for steps of intimacy. And it worked for years, it brought very big results. What was important here, for example, was that I had open doors, because it was a good solution, I had doors opened by God. It required discipline, it required consistency. Small steps of daily conversation, small steps of fighting for intimacy, even if it was just a hug or some small steps of intimacy. But spiritual, small steps, but spiritual, but consistent, practically daily. It brought great results, I'll tell you, because I really managed to shed the demons of pedophilia, okay? So it worked out because I had those doors open, because I had those doors open. Lately, I've been fighting, trying to completely cut off from the bad, completely cut off from contact with everyone in recent months, because I know it's a very wise, sensible solution, because how long can they try to force connections through violence? So in recent months, I've often fought to completely cut off from conversations, from everything, from everyone. A very sensible, very logical solution, but unfortunately God the Father closed those doors for me. He didn't open my life, I mean God the Father, life hasn't opened for me yet. If God the Father were on the throne, it would be clear right away, if it depended on him, he would open those doors immediately, okay? Obviously. Because no one has the right to force a relationship on me. But I checked if life had already opened for me, if I already had those doors open. And the devil tried very hard to kill me, the effects, the consequences were tragic, okay? So I knew those doors were still closed. So, despite how much I would like to cut off, I'm not able to. I have to use the open doors, okay? So I still have to fight in these small steps. I'll give you an example, okay? I'll give you an example, my example from this. So no matter how much I want to cut off, and it's logical and it's a very wise decision, but you see, we have no control over it. God the Father, if he were on the throne, would enable it for me immediately, because you can't force someone, you know, you can't force a relationship on someone and so on, what the bad ones do to me. But God the Father is not on the throne and we have to bear our cross. We have to bear this persecution. The devil is on the throne, okay? So it's important that I survive. It's important that in this suffering with this cross, I not only survive but also save myself by using the path that is open, which is still, you know, this conversation on my own terms, fighting for small, systematic intimacies, that will cast out the demons of pedophilia. Of that type. I gave you an example because I tried as I wanted, but often those doors are closed. Then we also get to know those closed doors. We encounter huge attacks. We encounter huge attacks when the doors are closed. You know, the attacks are very heavy, unbearable. There are zero effects. You know, zero effects. We are supposed to live so that every day our life brings results. There are days when we fight, there are days when we fight for survival, when it's harder, okay? When the attacks are heavier. But if from week to week it gets harder and harder and harder, well, unfortunately, it means we insist on going through doors that God the Father, not that God the Father decides, which are good doors, which we often want to go through because they are just, because they are a wise decision, but even if God the Father wanted, he can't open them for us yet, okay? So we have to use, here humility is needed, we have to use the doors that are open. Look for solutions that will bring results. Don't insist on solutions that would even lead to death, okay? Because what good is it that we want and we fight and we try, but life has closed the doors for us and that's a higher power. The devil is on the throne and that's a higher power, okay? So you can't, even if we wanted a solution, that the doors are closed, here patience, humility, okay? It means that for our good it will really be, because our God the Father sits on the right hand. If God the Father doesn't have to intervene in this matter, it means there is no threat to our life. It means that the solutions that life presents to us will be more beneficial for us, okay? Maybe it will be, you know, more time and that, but we'll be better off. So that's important. Don't insist on doors that are closed on solutions, okay? Go where you have open ones and you'll know by the fact that there must be results, there must be some results. A clear balance. There must be some results, some, you know, such solutions where there will be results. A clear balance of gains and losses. If there were only losses, depression, you know, it wouldn't make sense. They really attack this topic. We will return to this topic. They don't let me think. We will return to this topic, okay? So these two verses from the Bible, remember. And this is very important. And this is very important. And this is very important, okay, apply it in life, because it's the foundation, This is a secret that no one reveals. So we go through the doors that life opens for us. And there will be results, there will also be a fight, there will be difficulties, there will be a fight, but there will be results, we will be able to fight, we will be able to feel satisfaction every day that we fought, that we were able to fight. And if a situation arises where you can't even fight, where you're barely alive, where you almost feel like the devil is almost killing you, it means the doors are closed. Okay, that's what I wanted, this topic, okay. This is an important topic, we will return to it. We will return to this topic for today.